The most honored and revered of ancient radio texts had predicted its revelation for many months. They had foretold that one day, in year of our Lord 2024, that somewhere in China, the greatest budget dual band HT would be created by humble man. The greatest scientists of the age were assembled from all four corners of the earth. Really bloody clever ones that could write backwards on glass. Artisanal craftsmen and women were found from across the globe to hewn lumps of granite to make a handset impenetrable to any test of man or nature. Such power was generated by the device that the scoffers surmised, well, if it turns up from AliExpress with half as much power as it says, that'll probably be all right for the money, I guess. It had been told that the radio would have the power to tear holes in the sky with the might of 100 furious 1980s aerosols. For that day has now arrived, the one foretold by the ancient YouTube soothsayers. And you shall know that radio by its name, the UV-25, the Bwafung that is known as Baofeng.
Breaking news here right now on the Unremarkable Radio News Network. Bwafung have released another cheap walkie-talkie. We cross now live to Bristol, where our reporters found some old dear who should be the paragon of common sense. Old woman in Bristol, Bwafung have released another radio. What do you think?
You're joking. Not another one?
Oh, you better believe they've released another one, and this time it's this great big tri-banded behemoth. Do you ever find yourself laying in bed just as you drift off to sleep at night, fantasising about a big budget walkie-talkie? One aimed at the outdoorsy sort who likes off-roading and paintballing and that sort of jazz. One that just oozes that timeless alpha energy. Well, if that's what you're into, our friends at Bwafung are going to make your dreams come true for less than $25.
Andy, stop edging me. Should I buy one? Just get to the point.
All right, weary traveller, cup them, take the weight off of them for 1 minute and I'll give you a few points. You might consider buying one because around $25. Because you're looking for a radio with a great battery life. Because you're a Baofeng stan and you want to complete the sticker book. Because you're the sort of person who likes tactical things. Because it's not for this helmet to tell you how to spend your money. 3, 2, 1, twat. That's the kind of word people may yell at you in public for using a radio like that. Amongst other reasons why you might not want to buy one. It's basically the same as all the other cheap Bwafung radios, just in a lot of costume jewellery. These screw heads are a joke. The harmonic response is questionable. Can't get over the fact that yes, you are going to look like an absolute dick using that in public. Let's get down to the big bulbous meaty business. Right, it's a tri-bander, 10-watt tri-bander, 2,400 milliamp hour battery, standard Baofeng connector or Kenwood. USB is charge only and you can only charge by USB. I'll explain that later. And 999 channel presets. You can bring along all your friends. Right, let's get it open. Free lump of sticky, snotty stuff. Bit of a novelty, this. If you don't feel like enough of a prick walking around holding a radio this size, you can always go for the bouncer earpiece. They've thrown one in. It's every bit as chintzy and cheap as you might expect, but it didn't even say on the advert it was going to come with one, so we'll take it as a freebie. It is what it is. Either that or you can hack it up and make something actually useful out of it. Of course, it's going to let me down now. My second least favourite thing in the whole of radio, door clips. This one, considering the heft of this radio, feels really, really crap. Straight to landfill, all right. Don't worry too much about this. It does bolt onto the radio chassis, though, not the battery. I know some people get desperately alarmed about that. Je ne sais pas pourquoi. Also, more landfill fodder. No, I'm going to look at this straight in the bin. Oh, the gooseneck. We'll come back to that, actually. We'll put that aside for a moment. a little fake Apple-style charger. Now, what is interesting, I actually bought 3 of these because one always ends up getting destroyed in my tests because we do them properly. And you can see here where I filmed the rehearsal unboxing, actually had a totally different charger in it. So there's not even any consistency between radios in the same order. As Uncle Bumblefuck over in Canada would say, this thing does have a lot of gravity in it. And it comes pre-installed with the battery, which is good because that saves me a job. But it is a screw-on battery. More later. Once you've done the flattering fake gasp about how big it is, this is a two-fisted transistor sister. It is hefty, all right? There is no joke. This thing is bloody massive. If you want an approximation before it turns up, get a Pringles tube, fill it up with pesto, carry it around all day. That's exactly what this thing's like. There is a manual included. It is mostly in English. If you're the sort of person who wants manuals, you probably need to go and watch one of the other channels if you haven't worked that out by now. We don't really do manuals here. I'm sure it's lovely, but straight to landfill for me. And talking to landfill, my absolute nemesis. These dirty, dirty bloody things that people put on radios and they hold them in their clammy hands on sweaty days and then they never wash them, and it really wouldn't surprise me if just bin. So when you get this all unwrapped, the only 2 things you are actually going to want to keep is the radio and the antenna. The rest of it straight in the bin. Let's just have a very quick look over the antenna now. I've got no interest in things generally the word tactical slung in front of them. This is clearly one of them old lamp fitting things that's been repurposed into an antenna. I mean, yeah, it's a bit of a bendy-wendy. You can do what you want with it. And the standard fitting, this one, which will plug into this one. Right, I've detained you long enough pissing about opening the box. Let's crack on. First thing you'll notice up close is that it does have a very stiff and clicky knob. Similarly, these front membrane buttons, they're also nice and clicky. This is just stick-on costume jewellery. Pay it no more regard. And you know what side buttons mean when you get a new Chinese radio.
Which button? Sets that. Fucking alarm on.
Nope, that's the NOAA Weather Channel button. That one's obviously the push to talk. That's the sick tunes button. That's the torch button. But what if we lean on it? Bingo! That will make your piss stain. Come in, alright, just while we're talking about that alarm, this is a serious point. I know this looks the part, but do remember, in essence, it is Chinese junk. It's not a proper life-saving piece of equipment. It's certainly not a marine radio, or definitely not an ATEX radio. When there's a life at stake, buy a proper one from a recognised manufacturer, not some crap off of AliExpress, alright? I know it looks the part, and if you want to go and larp around in the woods with your mates and chuck it in your bug-out bag or whatever when you're going to Rambo around when the bomb drops, but seriously, if you need something to genuinely save a life or something properly ruggedised, it's not that. Back to the bullshit. A completely standard Bwafung cable. You can bring your one from the UV-25R. It works fine. Your heart is only going to beat so many times, so I am not going to show you chirp again. If you're anything like me, though, and hadn't updated chirp since prehistory, you will need to update it because mine still had calculations in it for spark gaps and Leyden jars. Once it's updated, use a Baofeng UV-25 Pro setting and it'll work fine. But like I said, I'm not going to show you that. Life is too short. There's going to be a part 2 where I'm going to do some more long-range testing. But I headed up to the Shitty Bridge and we did a bit of short-range testing on the low-power setting. You may notice a small continuity error here. Right, you've seen it here before. I've got a mate who's about 400 yards that way. Okay, I'm just going to call him up. This is on low power. This is low power to low power. He has got an identical one of these. Okay, let's go. Hello, Matt. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Andy.
That's really, really good news, that is. So you're about 400 yards away from me, according to Google Earth. As long as I'm coming through to you nice and clear on low power. I don't know if you just want to say something, just so I can get a bit of the audio.
I can indeed. You are coming through loud and clear. I am, as you say, about 400, whatever it is, away from you. And, yeah, it's cloudy, but a little bit warm.
Yeah, the weather doesn't know what it wants to do today, does it? It's a bit of an odd one. I've just put my washing out, but looking up there at the big grey clouds, I think I might be scurrying home. Anyway, I'll head back to you, mate. If you could just count up to 5 and back down to 1 again, just so I've got some clean audio, all right?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That, is absolutely spot on. Right, I'm heading back to you now, mate.
Hurry, get them towels in.
Yeah, I think I better get the towels in, actually. There's a bloody great big grey cloud right above my house looking at this. So, yeah, need to scurry and hurry and all that good stuff. I'll see you shortly, mate. It's time to do some testing, but first, a serious bit. What we have got here is amateur hour equipment. I do know a thing or two about calibrating test procedures, and in a bedroom with this stuff, all I can give you is some numbers. Unfortunately, and this tends to come out the ham community where everyone's a scientific wizard until they get the test equipment out. All they are doing is presenting you with some numbers, not the numbers. Anyone that's telling you they're giving you the numbers, you can tell them. Andy says they're a twit. Gloves on, everyone. Let's go and do some science. Everybody, this is my cheap and cheerful RF watt meter, affectionately known as Curly. It's not the best bit of kit in the world, but for the purposes of today's test, it's adequate.
More than adequate.
So what did Curly say? I'll just talk you very quickly through what I did. We've got 3 of them here, all fully charged. So each one of these did 10 seconds at each power level on each band. Okay, 3 times for 10 seconds, and then we averaged that out for each power setting on each band. Now, believe it or not, by the state of this video, I'm not a bad After Effects nor Premiere operator, but I'm losing passion after the 3rd time I think I'm filming this now. So I've gone to my super high-tech list here. On VHF high, the average power was 10.5 watts. On medium, it was 7.2 watts. On low power, VHF, 4.2 watts. Fantastic. On 1 1/4 metres, shut up helmets. I know we can't use it in the UK, alright? It was into a dummy load. Chill your fucking beans. Piss poor performance. High power, 4.2. Medium power, 2.5. And low power, 2.2. Not a great spread. UHF, not bad here actually. High was 8.8, mid power was 5.4 on average, and the low was 2.7. But something I do need to point out about it, this one I've taken the battery off to remind me, this one was about half a watt under. This one came in about 1.7 something. So there is variation if you get them. Some of them do have more power than others. This is the last bit I'm filming, I promise, and I'm sorry there's no graphic here. Let's do some more science. Now, here's something nobody else has covered. There is actually something quite interesting about this battery. And I'm also going to introduce you to something which hopefully we'll see a lot more of in these videos going forward. So we've already worked out this thing is a hefty old lump. And that got my noggin jogging. What's going on in here? So I destroyed a battery to find out. Only here. Read tip below. This must be a grower, not a shower, because 2,800 milliamp hours doesn't make sense for a battery pack of this heft. And lo and behold, inside, a set of 18650 lithium cells. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce Fuxelizer, my new toy. So I grabbed another fresh battery pack, again leave me a tip below, put it on Fuxelizer overnight and waited to see what happened.
Early the next morning.
There was a gross joke here about the last time I had a continuous discharge, but I've edited that out, don't worry. So we left this on Fuxelizer overnight on a 1 amp continuous discharge, and we said once the battery got to 6 volts, it was dead. Now, if you're good at arithmetic, you'll have spotted something.
Well, here's the thing. Fuckerance has occurred.
So, whilst the battery may massively over-deliver, it underperforms in the charging realm. A ponderous 720 milliamp charge rate. And that's not the worst bit.
Approximately 10 hours later.
So whilst it takes longer to charge than a Friday afternoon work Zoom call, if you use the terminals on the back, there's no improvement. The way it's wired up, it still puts everything through the onboard charge controller. There is never going to be a fast desk charger for this. And you know what else makes my piss steam and smell appalling? Batteries like this are held on with screws, but no bloody coin fits in the slot. I had to go back a very long way.
Well, I don't know how you explain the fact that a teenage girl does not know how many shillings there are in a pound.
Really?
Really. She said she thought we were on the decimal system.
Rather distressingly, we need to go back to the nightmare in your pocket. This shit.
Soon it's gonna be time to change the money round, 'cause we've got decimalization.
Well, get your farthings out for the lads. Fucking farthing. Who designs these things? Seriously. There is a point to this. I'm not just having a rant. This battery takes forever to charge, right? And you want to go and play in the woods or whatever, ram by around. So you think, I'll take 2 batteries. You then got to take a fucking screwdriver with you. If they were quarter turn or thumb screws, I'd get it. But the fact that you've got to take a tool to change the battery, it's going to bother you or it isn't. But it bothers me. Harmonics are something everyone's into at the moment, so let's take a look at them. The Baofeng UV-25 does have a reputation for poor harmonics, and not entirely without justification. It's come under fire for having absolutely horrendous spurious harmonics, to be matter-of-fact about the whole thing. On this direct coupling test into a tiny SA, well, the results are astonishingly poor, to say the least. Looking at the 40 dB line on this direct coupling test, it's a bit of a fucking horror show, to be blunt. But, at 2 watts, at 1 metre, into a disc cone, meh, not bad. Not bad. Not great. Hello, it's Andy from the future. If you're watching this video backwards, heaven knows why. But if you are, yes, I've been now and I'm feeling a lot less grumpy. But just as I've gone to upload this, I've realised I dropped the same graph in twice like a complete helmet. Take my word for it, on 70 centimetres it comes in about -45 as the worst. A lot of other videos have pointed that out as well. It's got no case to answer on 70 cents. So, yeah, back on again, back to me in the future, in the part. I've had enough of this now. Keep watching though. Okay, for this experiment, I've put the details on the screen in case you want to recreate it. We're going to inject a 1 kHz signal into the radio, and from a distance of 1 metre, with everything set to absolute maximum, we'll see the peak sound level achieved. Annoying noise now. And just for comparison, I ran the same experiment with a couple of other radio favourites to see if bigger does mean louder. Results time. Well, the Quanxing ended up quite a distant third, and as I've long suspected, this is a very quiet radio. The El Clasico here, the famous UV-5R, turned up and it gave this test a bloody good trousering. being only a whisper away from the winner, the UV-25. Remember though, 1 dBA point really isn't an awful lot, and it is within the bounds of error of this experiment. So bigger does not mean louder. Thanks for making it this far. Now, I will apologise that now there's been a massive continuity error during this video and the colour and the sound have gone a bit wonky. Okay, going. I really need a piss. I need to get out of here, to be honest. I've been here since breakfast time. I'm not really shooting this. So, sorry the colour and the sound have been wobbling all over the place. I had to recreate a lot of this from proxy footage because I lost everything. Hence, there have been quite a few continuity errors. Part 2 is filmed. Don't worry, that one runs a lot smoother. We're going to do high power testing. Big James is going to smash one up and then we'll post-mortem it. I don't like labouring this point, but if you like one, get it from the link below. It gives me, I think, about £2. And I never want to do sponsored videos. I won't communicate with manufacturers. It's very simple. There's no hi guys on this. There's no white backgrounds. There's no, oh, my friend's at, tell him I sent you. None of that fuckery, all right? Because I'm sick of it and I'm sure you are too. Everything you see in this video, I have bought with my own money. And if I want to call it a load of nut, I can. All right? Thanks for watching. Really looking forward to seeing you again in part 2. Goodbye.